All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get into our mock draft 1.0. It is the 1.0 and final.
Yeah, that's kind of our tradition.
Yeah.
We do
We
one,
only do 10 picks.
and they're terribly off base for most of them.
We also cut it 5 picks short from last year.
Oh yeah, no, that was stupid. What were we thinking with 15?
I feel like there's a lot more popular names in the last draft. I don't know. I feel like I don't know anybody in this one.
But, well, without further ado, let's just jump into it.
Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Al, you're going to lead us off. I'll go second. We're all going to go first overall pick, and then we're all going to say our second overall pick, and on and on and on.
Okay. Well, number 1 overall. This is kind of a shocker, I think. Actually, I'm not being sarcastic. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking Icky. I have Akeem. His last name, Okwanu, offensive line, NC State. I think they are all in on Trevor Lawrence. That's what this offseason seems like it's all about. It's about protecting him. It's about getting him weapons. And, their best offensive lineman on paper right now is a guy on a franchise tag. And
is his name?
It's like Cam.
It's Cam Robinson. Yeah. I'm pretty sure their center retired, who had been a longtime staple of that offensive line. So, I know it's kind of a reach at 1, but
it's
again,
possible, though.
You're not going to trade out of 1. There's just no one's going to. I don't think there's going to be any takers. I don't think they're going to want to move off it. So they're going to address the position they need the most.
Okay. All right. I like that. I have them taking Aiden Hutchinson at 1. I think he is the unanimous first overall draft pick. And
seems like the popular pick, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like usually when the whole media is in consensus, it usually leads to one thing. I feel like he is going to be somewhat of a playmaker. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of questions about him, but there are a lot of questions about everybody in this draft.
Hey, we talked about it earlier, with him being paired up with the Jabo, Michigan. He's got Josh Allen on the other side. He's got some nice defensive players to complement him.
Yeah, a great complement to that defense. Who wasn't very good last year, but they had some moments. They shut down Buffalo's offense in that game.
Yeah.
So
Josh Allen on Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Don't remind me of that.
Speaking of cringe posts that they did not stop making.
Yeah. So I feel like they're just going to keep building on the defense and figure out Trevor Lawrence later.
Judd, number 1, Jacksonville.
Well, it's no shocker either. It's Aiden Hutchinson also.
Okay, so Judd's also in Team Hutchinson.
Okay.
Number 2, our Detroit Lions are on the board, and because of my first selection being Icky, offensive tackle, I have the Lions taking Aiden Hutchinson for all the reasons we just talked about, except for the fact that he does not have a nice cast of complementary pieces around him. He would be the 1A superstar on that defensive line. He would be. I mean, let's be real. I know we kind of talk about Aquara, we talk about, Brockers and whoever, but come on.
McNeil also,
it's nice. They're nice players.
Yeah.
They're nice players, but they're not superstars. He's going to come in and be your superstar, captain of your defense. Plus, local guy, love the story, would be great.
But the one thing that really did kind of what caught my eye was when he played against Georgia, he really, really struggled, big time.
That's actually a really good note. I didn't even really think about that, but I've got the rose-colored, glasses because of the fact that I was at the OSU game and I saw that he was an absolute animal in that game. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree. I think if he does fall to 2, I think they will take him. But in my mock draft, obviously he falls to 1, and we have, I don't think anybody's going to trade up. So I think the Lions are going to be stuck at 2 and are going to have to take Thibodeau.
I think it's Thibodeau.
Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Tom Thibodeau.
Kayvon Thibodeau,
Who
number
gives
2.
a shit? I think they're going to have to take him at 2. I'm not super stoked about it because I feel like he can. I feel like it's possible that he can be that star off the edge and make Charles Harris and Okora's jobs easier. Romeo and Julian Okora, both their jobs easier. I think he can put on a lot of pressure solo. If he ends up doing that, then he's going to start taking double teams and getting other guys on one-on-ones that we have to win. So I think the Lions would take him at 2. The only other player that I can see us taking at 2 would be Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, I think we're both philosophically aligned though on them taking an edge rusher because that's the cream of the crop of this class. You need help all over the roster. Just take the best available guy. I don't think there's a lot of great players at that position group, and I think that if you took even the other guy, the Georgia guy you were talking about, even he would be a good pick.
I would welcome that as well.
So, all right, you've got Thibodeau at 2. Judd, who do you got 2?
I really thought about this really hard, but I really like Walker from Georgia at 2.
Okay.
So we're all kind of different on this one, but yeah, we talked about it earlier, and God knows they need a linebacker.
Little different on everybody, but unanimous decision on the group.
Sure.
The defensive lineman, like the edge rusher, like we all agree that the Lions need somebody coming off that edge to get pressure on the quarterback.
100%.
Before we move on, Al, I do want to note why none of us have Malik Willis at 2.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a good point.
If the Lions take Malik Willis at 2, I'm putting a personal guarantee that this will happen. Jared Goff will struggle at some point during the season. Fans will be calling for Malik Willis.
They'll be calling for him at training camp.
He will be put into the game at some point. He will not succeed. I don't think there's any way that he succeeds. And when that happens, all hell breaks loose and Brad Holmes starts getting questioned.
Well, with Willis, let's say it did happen, because that seems to be the name that keeps popping up with these quarterbacks. If we were to take one at 2, most of the time this podcast, we really have been slamming Brad Holmes Kool-Aid. We've been pretty impressed with him so far. I think the wide receiver stuff for the trade deadline was really the only time we were both scratching our heads and kind of pissed off about Brad Holmes. But overall, I would say I'm team Brad Holmes, and if you take him at 2, knowing how much this roster needs players and help, and this draft class not being like, if they think this is the guy, I'll give it a chance, but I really don't think it's a good idea to take him at 2.
No,
absolutely not. I mean, for all the reasons we talked about, this is not the year to get a quarterback. And even with Goff on the roster, like, we can move off of him a little bit cleaner next season. And there's already talk about the next year's quarterback class being better than this one.
Much better.
Let's just give Goff another shot here. See what we got. And he's already getting paid a buttload of money. I mean, let's just keep him on the roster and give him more tools to succeed this year. Right. Second year on the team, you don't go quarterback, you go edge rusher.
Yep.
All right, well, number 3, Judd, I do have the Houston Texans. I do have them taking Trayvon Walker there because again, for all the reasons we talked about, he's too good to pass up at that point, and they need help, the linebackers, as much as the Lions do. So that's why I got him going there.
Houston, you can really just plug any player in there, and it's possibly right, because they have just an astronomical amount of roles.
I mean, they need everything on that team. Everything.
I will say they did, I know we talked about Deshaun Watson stuff at the top of the show, but I will say they did make out like bandits on that trade. Oh, yeah. They got a bag for him, so good on him. Good on them. Sorry.
I have them taking Evan Neal.
Okay. Yeah.
Offensive lineman out of Alabama. This is clearly a rebuild. I think they're going to start doing the same thing that Detroit's doing, where they're building this from the trenches out. I believe Larry Tunsil is still a question mark on where he's playing and what he's doing.
Getting paid a bunch of money, but
getting paid a bunch of money. If he does end up playing for Houston this season, it's going to be a great pairing between the two of them on the outsides, and providing protection for who?
Davis Mills.
Right?
They are gonna ride with him. That seems like the consensus.
Incredible. Wow. Okay.
They're definitely not going quarterback here, right?
No. It would be crazy if they did, right?
It would be crazy, but I
haven't seen that in any mocks.
No, I don't know.
You know what's really crazy though? I just saw this morning was Tua and Mills had the same stats from last year, and then Davis Mills as a rookie for a late 3rd round pick or 4th round pick out of Stanford, which is crazy. But
when did Mills start playing?
His sophomore year.
No, what week?
Didn't he start off the season because Tyrod went down with an injury?
No,
Tyrod played a couple weeks.
Okay.
I think he played 2 plays and he got hurt again, maybe.
Yeah, I thought he went down.
No, he beat Cleveland. I actually think that might have been the game that he got injured.
Yes.
Against Cleveland.
But no, Davis Mills,
he surprised everybody.
It's the least sexy quarterback on the least sexy team in the league, but
I would love to see the second half stats between those two. I guarantee you 2
will not make it.
dumps on it.
All right, so I got Trayvon Walker at 3. Lucas has Evan Neal at 3. Judd, who do you have at 3? Texans.
This is a shocker right here. I actually went with Kyle Hamilton at 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think I've seen that a little bit too here and there.
I like that.
Just because, like we're saying, the Texans, they've got holes everywhere.
Yeah,
so
got holes everywhere.
Just take the best
Could be
guy.
anybody. I think he could be a great defensive leader for that team in the long run.
And plus, too, they just lost Justin Reed to Kansas City to free agency.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a perfect spot for Kyle Hamilton just to start with a good
I like
career.
that. I like that a lot.
Okay.
Number 4, the New York Jets. This might be the pick that I'm jumping the gun a little bit on here, but
Malik Willis.
I have the Jets taking Sauce Gardner, corner
Wow.
out of Cincinnati.
Wow.
That's pretty high, Al.
It is pretty high. His draft stock seems like it's soaring right now. The swagger and confidence is through the roof on this dude.
I mean, with the first name of Sauce.
Yeah, right. Well, that's his nickname. I think there's middle name or something, but that was called
Kool-Aid?
Sauce.
Played at Alabama.
But no, man, I think that's the kind of swagger that you need on a defense that has been a laughing stock for a long time now. Their corners aren't anything special right now. Since Darrelle Revis era, it's been pretty barren over there. So
Very bad.
I think it's. I know we kind of took Okuda at 3, and I know it's been kind of poo-pooed, but just out of the top 3. So maybe if he's good enough, you can justify it.
I mean,
but
I would like to have Okuda or Reeves. No, I'm lying. I would like to have Reeves over Jeff Okuda.
so I think Robert Saleh, who is a defensive guy,
Yeah.
I think getting him a superstar in the secondary would be the way to go.
I totally agree, Al.
And they have multiple first-round picks, so
Yeah, I totally agree. I went a little bit different, though. I have them taking Kyle Hamilton
yeah.
at 4. Again, I think he can be a very good defensive leader for the team. I think he can fill that Jamal Adams role that they lost when they traded him.
Yeah.
Jamal Adams is a big captain.
That's
big
why
playmaker.
I didn't put him here. Is
Kyle
because
Hamilton.
because how can you trade away Jamal Adams and then basically do the same thing again?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to sell your fans on that?
Yeah, but that was a Todd Bowles move, though.
Remember Darius Slay? That's exactly what Detroit did.
Yeah.
And it did not pan out well, but
No.
Kyle Hamilton is not Jeff Okuda.
Well, he doesn't seem like he's going to be.
And safety is, I feel like, different from corner.
He doesn't seem like it's going to be Jamal Adams either.
We'll have to see.
I don't know. That'd be a tough pill to swallow as a Jets fan. That's all I'm saying. But that's their. That's
fair.
That's like the common
That's
place
fair,
for
dog.
Jets fans.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Judd, Jets 4, your most hated team in the NFL, possibly.
Yes.
Nice.
I actually have the Jets taking the offensive line guy from North Carolina State.
So you got them
Okay.
taking Icky.
Icky.
Okay.
All right, that's interesting. I like that. They get a little bit more protection
For Zach Wilson.
which I feel like they do desperately need.
You really should be doing what the Jags are doing stupidly and building everything around your quarterback.
Right.
Jags are just doing it ass backwards and spending all sorts of money, and I think they're going to take a offensive lineman number 1 overall just to literally do everything they can.
They got Christian Kirk, bro. They're good.
Yeah, they're good, all right.
Number 5, the other New York team, the Giants. This is where I have Thibodeau.
Okay.
Thibodeau. Goddamn. Kayvon Thibodeau falls all the way to 5.
I like that.
I just think it's like a Micah Parsons-esque move where it's just like, it's unbelievable he's there. Just take him. And I think they got Dexter Lawrence on the other side, who's pretty good, pretty decent edge rusher, but this team just needs stars. I mean, they're in a weird spot. They're not like,
And they also
they're kind of not rebuilding, but they could be on the verge of doing it pretty quick here, and they got a lot of money tied up in a lot of players, and I guess they're technically in a win-now spot, so adding a player like him would be pretty good.
Are they in a win-now spot?
I feel like they kind of have to be. Daniel Jones is on the last year of his rookie
contract.
deal.
Yeah.
You got a new head coach. You got guys like Kenny Galladay, James Bradbury. Like you're paying players,
Right.
and they have. Daniel Jones is like on his 5th year
Right.
in the league.
Right.
Like it's time to go. So best available, Thibodeau.
Okay, I like that. I agree with everything you're saying. That's why I have them taking Icky here at 5.
I like that too.
Which I think this kind of helps out that offensive line that's been abysmal for the past couple of years.
Remember Nate Solder?
Yeah. Another bad contract.
No, that's nonsense. That's garbage.
I think this helps out their game in two ways. I think that it helps out Saquon if he can stay healthy, which he probably won't, and I think it can help out Daniel Jones, help him get rid of the ball a little bit faster, and help him, get a little bit more protection.
I sneaky think this is the end of the Saquon Barkley era.
And, I mean, they were talking about dealing him
a
couple months ago. I don't know. Nobody probably wants him.
No.
For what they're asking. So, I mean, that totally makes sense. But I think, this might be like a one last hoorah. Like, let's see if he can stay healthy, if we give him a good lineman to run behind.
Mm-hmm.
Judd, Giants.
I have Thibodeau also going at 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
All
it.
right.
Like it.
Is that our first time lining up with picks? No. Me and Judd lined up on the first overall.
Yeah.
That might be the first time since.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, Carolina Panthers. The most quarterback desperate team in the NFL is going to take a quarterback here.
Ooh, all right.
And it's going to be Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
Because, again, like we were saying, the pro-ready stuff, the Mac Jones comparison, put him in day one, he's good to go. Literally that.
Yep.
He's not the most physically talented quarterback in this draft class, in a questionable quarterback draft class, but I would be stunned if they were just going to roll out Sam Darnold again and try their luck next year. They were aggressive trying to get Deshaun Watson. Like, they want a quarterback, and desperate teams do desperate things. They literally couldn't get Watson because he didn't want to go there. Right. And I'm sure Baker Mayfield probably would feel the same way. They can't attract a quarterback there. You have to take one.
Right.
And it just has to be now. So that's what they're going to do. Kenny Pickett. I'm not even saying it's a good pick. It's just that's what they're going to do. In my estimation.
I'm changing my pick on the fly to Kenny Pickett because of what you just said.
There you go.
I mean, that makes actually a lot more sense than what I had. Everybody can probably tell what I had, but I'm going to keep it a secret. But yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I think that makes sense. He could actually, I feel like he's a pretty quick quarterback. So, I mean, I feel like that fits that offense. They're running gun, CMC's getting open in the flats and whatnot.
This has disaster written all over it, though, because this is like the Justin Fields pick last year. You have a coach who's on the hot seat big time and might be flushed out mid-year, and a quarterback that maybe the next regime doesn't even want. But you're spending number 6 pick on him. Yeah. Like, this has disaster written. It's crazy. It's crazy. But they're still going to do it.
Yeah.
That's why we pay you the big bucks.
And to save Matt Rule's job.
Yep.
Here's all that matters to me.
Judd, 6.
It's not a shocker. Kenny Pickett.
All right, this is our first pick we're all in lockstep on.
Wow.
Okay.
Our first unanimous pick. How about that?
Okay. Number 7, Giants back on the board again.
Yep.
I have Evan Neal going here.
Okay.
So, similar to what you were saying about the O-line.
Yep.
And also, arguably one of the best players on the board at this point. They took a defensive stud with Thibodeau, and they addressed the O-line with the next pick. If Evan Neal's gone at this point, or and Icky's gone at this point, I think they just take the best O-line player available, and because a lot of teams are desperate, and they're one of them. So
I mean, the new coach they just hired from Buffalo is definitely offensive guru, so they can definitely fix it.
Wasn't Joe Judge offensive guru too?
Yeah, guess where he's at?
Yeah,
New England.
He's hanging out with Matty Patty.
Okay, I got. We just flip-flopped on where we had them going. I have New York Giants taking Trayvon Walker at 7.
I'm surprised he made it that far on your list, but yeah, if he's there, absolutely.
I feel like he is the 3rd-ranked defensive lineman, and I think that Carolina is not going to take one. If he was there at 5 with the Giants, I'm guessing that they would. I mean, I don't know why you would, but let him go past because they know that Carolina's not going to take him at 6. And then pick him up at 7.
I like it. Judd?
I have Evan Neal at 7.
All right, we're back to back.
Okay.
Yeah. All the reasons we just talked about.
Atlanta at 8.
I have Kyle Hamilton going here.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I don't have them taking a quarterback. I think if Kenny Pickett was there, maybe. But I just think they're going to try Marcus Mariota this year and punt on it for a year. I don't see Matt Ryan's replacement in this draft class.
No,
I just don't.
See it either.
I see a Jared Goff bridge situation here with Mariota. They signed him for 2 years.
Yep.
Very reasonable contract. They are in cap hell.
Oh yeah.
So they need to like get cheap, get young, and I'm thinking you'd probably want a quarterback to come into something a little bit better than the roster they have right now.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Pitts is going to have a fun year with Marcus Mariota, but no quarterback. So Kyle Hamilton, similarly to the Jets with Sauce Gardner, I feel like they need to have that defensive captain, that guy in the secondary who's like a game changer for them, because their defense has been stinky poo-poo garbage for a while. I feel like
long time.
Yeah, I was going to say
pretty
ever
bad.
since Dan Quinn's been there. Ooh, it's been awful.
Is the Titans?
Oh, stinky.
What's his name?
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith. Is he still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
it was last year's first year, and he's an offensive guy, so
Which is really weird because he was with Tennessee, right?
Yes. That's why I have them taking Malik Willis at 8.
okay. I was wondering
Quarterback
where
of the
he would go.
future. Save Arthur Smith a couple more years. Build around that offense.
I will say, like, counterpoint to everything I just said about not taking a quarterback. If you are going to take one, I guess it's good to do it with a coach who's in his second year. He's going to be there for at least a couple more years, unless he absolutely epically flames out. But he had a pretty nice rookie head coach season with the
Matt Ryan.
with the Falcons, because bad team, but I think we were pegging them to be a lot worse than they ended up being. They were in games, and I don't think they were as bad as.
I'd be interested to see where we had them finishing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so second quarterback off the board for you.
Yep.
Judd, who do you have the Falcons taking?
I have the Falcons taking Garrett Wilson. at number
Oh.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Because with Calvin Ridley, MIA.
7. And Julio
Wow.
Jones is gone, and they have no receivers left.
Yeah. Who do they got? Russell Gage? Is
Yep.
he still there?
No, he went to Tampa.
That's right. He went to
Yeah.
Tampa.
Tampa,
Yeah,
so-
Tampa.
They really got nobody.
Wow.
They got Cordell Patterson. That's about it. And Kyle Pitts.
And Kyle
I
Pitts.
love that pick, John.
Yeah, that's
that is
a
a
good
great
one.
point. That is a great point. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, I might have to adjust mine. That's pretty good. But
Number 9.
number 9, Seattle Seahawks.
Which that was from Denver to Russell
Yep.
Wilson.
Yep. I have them also passing on quarterback.
Okay.
Kenny Pickett's my only quarterback in the top 10.
Yep.
I'm just putting that out there now. I have them taking Charles Cross, offensive line, Mississippi State,
Okay.
third best O-line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got a lot of picks. They're going to have a lot of holes.
They're
O-line is pretty bad,
Yeah.
Very.
so they got to take the best guy available. And
I mean,
I
Aaron
think
Donald.
Drew Lock is the least likely of the bridge quarterbacks that's actually going to have a long leash or a shot to do. I think they'll hit the eject button on him pretty quick if things don't work out, because he's consensus not very good in the NFL.
Right.
So maybe they'll take a quarterback later, but right now I think they're just going to start plugging holes and punt on that for next year.
Yeah. Okay. I have them starting the rebuilding process, and they're going to do the same thing that they did back in 2014, 2015 when they were a very solid team. They're going to start out with a defense. They're going to get a lockdown corner by the name of Derek Stingley Jr.
Okay.
I like that pick.
I think he's
pick.
going to fit that place well. And I think him and Jamal Adams would be the center stones of that secondary. And I think you can really build off that and start building it a little bit different than how teams do it. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in trenches first, then work out. But I think you would get a very good, and I have all three of the top defensive linemen off the board already. So I think you go with the best prospect in Derek Stingley. I think if Kyle Hamilton's still here, I think the Seahawks should take him.
That would be a big shocker if he stays right there.
Yeah. Because,
Like
I
that.
mean, Jamal Adams and Kyle Hamilton.
Oof, that'd be dangerous.
That'd be
Well,
nice.
I mean, hey, that's kind of what the Lions did last year with the draft, right? They, the bedrock of what was left of that roster was the offensive line.
Yep.
And they take Penei Sewell and they just make what's strong stronger.
Yeah.
And Jamal Adams is probably the best blue chip player on your team. He's probably your best guy at this point on both sides of the ball. So yeah, building up the secondary.
Probably.
It's kind of like the Aaron Donald and Von Miller combo in the NFC West.
Yeah.
That's gonna be scary.
That
Yeah.
is going to be very scary.
And you're gonna need good corners in that division too. Jeez. Judd, number 9, Seattle.
I really like that pick. Lucas said it was good. I actually have them taking an edge out of Florida State named Jermaine Johnson.
Okay.
I mean, Seattle's defensive line is so bad. They have
nobody.
no players unheard of. I'm like, they need it upgraded.
This is very possible too because they did just get that interior defensive lineman from Denver as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the tackle. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean they could start building off that. 'Cause, I mean,
Shelby Harris.
Shelby Harris. I don't believe Shelby Harris is a schmuck or anything. So you get a pluggable defensive lineman on the interior. You take an edge to start getting some pressure off, the sides. I think that's a very realistic possibility.
Yeah, I can see that.
Rounding out the top 10, the Jets are back on the board. It sounds like we maybe aren't aligned on this, but I have them taking the top receiver on the board in their mind, and the only receiver in the top 10, Drake London.
Oh wow.
And
Drake London out of USC.
That's kind of part of why I have him going here, because their USC track record with Mark Sanchez and Sam Darnold is the most Jets thing you can do.
Absolutely.
So I have him going there. They desperately need a game-changing wide receiver for Zach Wilson, and
Corey Davis can't do it by himself.
he fits the bill. Him and Elijah Moore together would be
Elijah Moore.
pretty
Absolutely.
good.
That's right, yeah.
Pretty good.
It's funny. Their USC track record has not really worked out for them.
No.
Which is why I think they'll do it, because they're a terrible organization.
This is why I think they're going to steer away from it, and they're going to go with Chris Olave.
Receiver though,
Yeah.
same reason.
Same reasons.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They got to get somebody to get out there with Elijah Moore, who will be very talented in the future. And if they nailed this pick, then you got your quarterback and your wide receivers for the next 3 or 4 years to come. And the defense showed some promise last year. You got that defensive minded coach in Saleh, so it will be really interesting to see if they can round out the offense.
You get one over the top receiver here. Your running backs are kind of meh, but the offense is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's looking pretty good. You got the
everybody
QB.
knows
It's important.
You don't absolutely need a running back to succeed.
No, you can do a
Plug
committee.
and play.
And,
If you have a good offensive line, anybody can run behind.
I think the Le'Veon Bell thing is probably making them reassess ever
Good.
paying a running back ever.
Good.
I mean, they also re-signed Braxton Berrios, who led the NFL for kick returns. And I think he was either third or second in the league for that.
Yeah, but he's not.
He's not a starting receiver, but Elijah Moore and Corey
He's a
Davis
special
are good.
player.
But he's a special teams player.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Judd running us out in the top 10.
I have them taking Derek
Malik Willis.
Stingley.
Stingley at 10.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I could.
I had them taking
Defensive
Sauce
player.
at 4 because of, they need
Would
corner.
you have them taking before that?
at 4?
At 4?
Yeah.
Offensive tackle from North Carolina State.
Okay.
You had Icky going there.
I think we all have
We had
offensive and defense picks.
We had
for 4 and 10.
We all had Kenny Pickett for sure.
No,
No.
I at
Who'd
4.
you take for the Jets in 4?
At 4, I had them taking Sauce.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Sauce.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we all did offense and defense picks,
Mhm.
which I feel like that very well could happen. All right, well, that concludes our top 10 mock draft 1.0 and final.
Yeah.
Any
more.
concluding thoughts?
I just want to say really quick, I do think Malik Willis is going to be drafted in the teens, but I think he's going to be taken by the Saints. I think the Saints are.
Oh, wow.
I know he just re-signed Jameis, I think, to a 2-year deal,
Yes.
but I think that's enough time for him to, play behind Jameis and develop. And yeah, he seems like a good fit to me. I don't know. I just got this idea in my head that he would be a good fit there. But
I will say this for Willis. I think he will get drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think the Steelers will actually trade up and get him.